13 years have passed, but the story never finished. Time has had its effect on us, and yet the suffering continued. But hope is not lost, because he's coming back from the past. Samurai Jack.
Years. After 13 years, Samurai Jack returned to the airwaves after being cancelled in 2004 to have one final season and wrap everything up, and people were hyped. Hell, when this final season was announced in 2016, I saw a lot of people lose their shit over this announcement. As for me, while I didn't necessarily grow up with the show when it first came out, I did see episodes of it in my high school years, and I really enjoyed it. So much like those people, I was also excited to see this final season of Samurai Jack. Hell, with the creator coming back and the show being moved to Adult Swim, the adult block of Cartoon Network, fans were even more hopeful this would be a great final season. So now that the finale's been out for a couple of weeks and things seem to be calming down amongst the community, I think now is the time to give this final season a proper review. Oh, and although this should be obvious, massive spoilers ahead, especially if you've seen seasons 1 through 4 and haven't touched 5 yet, okay? Let's go. So, after the finale of Season 4, where Jack returns a baby, Season 5 takes place 50 years later. Jack has lost his sword, all the time portals are gone, Jack can't age due to the side effects of time travel, and all hope seems to be lost. But after an encounter with the daughters of Aku, where Jack kills all but one, a girl named Ashi, the two develop a bond over the course of several episodes, and this ends up causing Ashi to change her allegiance to good, and Jack to not only get over his emotional and spiritual troubles, but also get his sword and gi back. Oh, and also remove that beard, but that's a minor achievement. The two then form a romance, which split the community down the middle. Aku and Jack have their final clash, with Jack's allies helping him out, and then Jack makes it back to the past thanks to Ashi, kills Aku, and the future is saved! Kind of. See, the world of Samurai Jack operates on a linear form of time travel. So with Aku getting slayed by Jack in the past, that means Ashi can't exist since she bears Aku's DNA. So, yeah, Aku may have been defeated, but in the end, he got the last laugh, and right on Jack's wedding day. But, yeah, that's really about it for the story, and to be honest, I genuinely liked it for the most part. I like seeing Jack's internal struggles, as well as seeing Jack eventually conquering them. I like the development of the characters Jack befriended over the years, such as the Scotsman, and I honestly like the darker tone of this final season. Not only because it showcases how Jack reacts to certain things not seen in the previous seasons of the show, like killing a human for the first time in his deteriorating mental state over the course of 50 years, but also because it's fitting in a sense. Those who grew up with Samurai Jack back in 2001 were probably kids or teenagers, and now, in 2017, those kids/teenagers grew up. They're adults now. So the show decided to do the same thing. Grew up. That said, however, I do not think the story is perfect. It has its issues. Some of the pacing is a little wonky, such as in 10 where Ashi discovers she has Aku's powers and is somehow able to utilize them without much difficulty, or the fight between Ashi and her mother ending too quickly. Now, yes, I understand why. It only has 10 episodes to tell its story. But even though I know the reason, that doesn't make the pacing issue go away. It just means that there's not a lot you can do to fix the issue. Hell, to use a real life example for a minute, that'd be like telling someone they have a medical condition because they ate too much processed food and expecting them to be okay with that. Sure, they may know why they have the condition, but it doesn't make the condition go away. It's still gonna be there, and it's still gonna friggin' suck for them. Another issue I have with the story is, well, the time travel at the end. As I've said in the past, time travel is a fragile concept, so it's really easy to screw it up, and that's what happened here. With Ashi sending Jack back to the past and him sending Ku and Sid past, that would mean Ashi wouldn't exist, meaning that she couldn't send Jack into the past to slay Ku, meaning that would make a mess out of the timeline. Something else I noticed? Why did it take Ashi a lot longer to fade away when after Ku was slain, her powers were gone at the snap of a finger? Hell, given that it happened on her wedding day, which usually takes a while to get set up, shouldn't she have faded away sooner? Or is the space-time continuum like, yeah, let's remove her from the timeline on her wedding day? Again, I get it, they wanted to kill off Ashi, but I just don't think it was executed well. But hey, this is coming from a guy who tends to overanalyze shit a little too much at points, so if you don't care about time travel, you'll probably like the story of the season. Outside of maybe the pacing issues, but I digress. As for the characters, I think they were handled pretty well for the most part. I like Jack's character in this one. I enjoyed seeing his development throughout the season. I like seeing some of the older characters from the previous seasons again, and I like that we got to see what they've been up to in the last 50 years. Scaramouche was entertaining as well as Aku, and I liked Ashi's development and character as well as her chemistry with Jack, which is also why I didn't really mind the romance that formed after episode 8. And I'm not gonna lie, I did feel something when she started to die. And if a writer can make me feel something for a character that's only been around for 10 episodes, I gotta give them the credit they deserve for that. So good job, writers. You made me care for Ashi. However, not all the characters are great. While I did like Ashi, the other daughters of Aku were really downplayed and underdeveloped. Same with the mother of Ashi, aka the High Priestess. Hell, given that they were given more attention in the trailers than Scaramouche, I thought they would have appeared more often in the series, but no, they were pretty much dealt with by episode 3, and with the mother, episode 7, in a short fight, and then never seen again. Again, I know why, but that does not make the problem go away. It just means that it could not be fixed in the amount of time the season had, and that sucks. Especially since I'm sure the creator probably did have something further planned for the other daughters of Aku and the High Priestess in terms of the character, but that's the sad truth about it. When you're only given 10 22-minute episodes, you gotta prioritize some things over others, and it seems like they just weren't important enough to stick around for longer. So yeah, it's still a problem, but I do understand why. As for the animation, it looks really well done for this season. It still has the creative backgrounds and character models to the previous seasons, but updated thanks to modern tech. Fantastic cinematography and action scenes are still present and accounted for. The coloring is really well done, and even the animation is really fluent. Just goes to show that despite being off the air for 13 years, the animators behind Samurai Jack have not lost their touch. So great job. Finally, we have the audio, and honestly, it's really good. The background music is pretty good to listen to the point where I would legit purchase the soundtrack. I like that they kept the old theme song for the show, but saved it for the end of each episode, and even the voice work is really well done. Jack's voice work is still really good, despite his VA not really voicing Jack much in the gap between seasons 4 and 5 outside of some video games. I thought Ashi and the High Priestess's voice were really good. I was really friggin' glad to see former VAs return, like the Scotsman VA John DiMaggio, Dust Samurai's VA Keegan-Michael Key. Hell, even Mako's voice is utilized in this season despite his passing, as his clips are used in episode 10 for the original monologue, and in the original clip where Aku sent Jack to the future. That was really cool of them to do that. But speaking of Mako, I guess now's the time to address the elephant in the room. In season 5, the new voice for Aku is not Mako due to his passing, but Greg Baldwin. Now, technically, this season was not the first time he voiced the character of Aku. That would be Fusion Fall, a video game released in 2009. But this was the first time voicing Aku for an entire season. When said season came out, a lot of people did not really like this new voice. So what did I think of it? Well, honestly, I didn't really mind the new voice. Granted, I think Mako's Aku voice is much better, well, at least after the pilot.
You might have beaten me now, but I will destroy you in the future.
God, that was shit. But Greg's voice for Aku is still pretty good. Not as great as Mako's, but I still find it to be a good performance, and it did start to grow on me as the season went on. Besides, I can think of far worse first performances.
There is no future for you, Aku.
Yeah, it's really weird looking back on those early episodes. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the audio, so I think now's the time to wrap this up. Overall, Samurai Jack Season 5 is a great conclusion to the Samurai Jack series. Yes, it has its problems, but in this case, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And hey, at least the show finally gave the fans the one thing they've wanted for years: closure. So that concludes this review. I'm the Mounty, and thank you for watching. See you then.
After so long, I have escaped that dimension. Now it's time to lay vengeance upon the man who infused this ring into me.